All right, good morning. And Recon is back on trail. This is Daytona Mike, and he is the caretaker of Stanimals Hostel in Glasgow, Virginia. And we had a weather day yesterday and spent the day with Mike and just had a fantastic time. He's a great guy, a great cook, and makes a really mean sweet potato pancake.
I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, buddy.
I had a great time with you all.
All right.
Awesome.
I'll get up with you later.
All right.
Right, I am back on trail. This is the James River in Virginia, and I am on the James River footbridge, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the longest footbridge on the entire Appalachian Trail. So, took yesterday off, did a zero at Stanimals Hostel in Glasgow, Virginia. It was 35 degrees, raining and sleeting, and it was just not a day to be outside. So anyway, today is supposed to be better. It's gray and wet right now and kind of gross. It's cold, probably in the 40s, but it's supposed to clear up and get nicer. So anyway, had a great time yesterday. And the fun thing was, because of the weather, some other hikers ended up there as well. So I actually met 3 other South Mounters that I didn't even know existed. And we hung out yesterday and had a good time, and have made plans to try to get together further down the trail to coordinate our shuttle down to the Smokies when we had to skip the closed section. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. It's a great hostel. Daytona Mike, who you just saw in the video, is a great guy. He's a retired Army first sergeant and just does a great job taking care of the hostel and making hikers comfortable there. So that's about it for now. I'm going to turn the phone off and get moving because I'm cold and I need to get warmed up. So for now, I'll recon out. So there's the bridge behind me. I'm going to stop here and tighten my shoes up, put my gaiters on, and get ready to roll. Got about 57 miles from here to get down to Daleville, and there's a hostel there that I'm planning on staying at in a couple days. We resupplied yesterday, mostly at Dollar General, and so I've got food for 4 days and 3 nights. My pack weight is a little on the heavier side. I'm not happy about that. I weighed with food and water right at 30 pounds. That's more than I like to carry. But as it's gotten colder, I've added more and more cold weather stuff. So I'm using a warmer sleeping bag now that weighs 10 ounces more than my quilt. I've gone to an insulated sleeping pad that weighs probably a good 6 or 8 ounces more than my other sleeping pad. I've added a fleece pullover, heavier wool socks to sleep in at night. And that's about it, I guess. And then to carry it all, I had to add a heavier backpack. So unfortunately, the load has gotten heavier. Nothing I can do about that. The weather's just going to continue to get worse. I'll probably have to send for my 5-degree sleeping bag in a couple weeks. So for now, I'm going to get moving. We'll recon out. First part of this hike today is a nice walk along the James River. It is a cold, damp day and gray, but I see some blue sky poking through, so I'm hopeful. I got a little flat section here, and then I start climbing. Got about 3,000 foot climb, which is essentially the same as what I did the other day when I had to climb the Priest. So pretty long climb, and then I'll camp tonight. And a friend of mine from Virginia Beach area is going to be joining me tonight and tomorrow night for a day of hiking. So he'll be shuttled in tonight. I'm 63 years old, and I still love to see a train. Big freight train running down the other side of the river there. Nice view for the trees here. It's a pretty big mountain over there. I don't know if I'm going up that or not. But I did want to say that because I live in Virginia, I've hiked a lot of the trail in Virginia already. And up until today, I've been going over territory I've already hiked in the last several years. But starting at the footbridge there this morning, heading south, I'm on entirely new territory now. So all the way down to almost Damascus. This is all new to me. The next couple hundred miles are trail I've never hiked, so that's kind of fun. So I just ran into Isabella again, and I think Deborah is up ahead here someplace. So they're two women. They're hiking by themselves. They started a northbound hike from Georgia in March. They got to Southern Virginia, realized they weren't going to make it in time, so they jumped ahead over Virginia, over West Virginia, Maryland, and into Pennsylvania. And so they skipped a big chunk. Got to Pennsylvania, went north, summited Katahdin, and now they're on the return leg. They got back onto Pennsylvania, and they're going southbound now to finish that section they missed, from middle of Pennsylvania down to Southern Virginia. So I started seeing them in Shenandoah National Park. One day they'd be going north, and then the next day they'd be going south. I'd run across them, just depending on who was shuttling them and where they dropped them off. So they're using shuttles to kind of close this whole section up. So they're really sweet. I stayed at Stanimals Hostel. They were there as well. And we'll probably run into them again tomorrow when they get back on trail. So they're really nice, but they've been on trail for 9 months, these poor people. They just want to get it over with. So all the best to them. You just got to admire their perseverance. So anyway, for now, Recon out. All right, I'm gonna walk out here and get this view for y'all. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the clouds. That is gorgeous. I don't know if you can tell how windy it is, but it's really windy right here. And it's flipping cold. And I need to get moving. I can't stand here, it's too cold and windy. It's 4 p.m. I got about another hour and a half to get to camp. This is sure fancy. Look at this thing. Wow. It's like like an observation deck or something. Beautiful. Wow. Look at this. That's amazing. Oh, it's so cold up here. I've got to get down from this thing. Still got, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half to go to the shelter. Holy smokes, I've got to get out of here. It is freezing. All right, welcome to day 150. My friend Pramod Malik has joined me, and you can see it is windy and it is cold out here. So we're gonna move on. We got about 9 miles to the Bryant Ridge shelter. All right, you ready, Pramod?
Let's do it, man.
Let's go. All those rocks all got like a coating of moss on them. All right, day 151. Here we are leaving the shelter. The shelter's up over there. Got down to 35 degrees last night. Pretty chilly. There's Pramod. We're moving out. We got about 4 miles to go down to the parking area where he's left his car, and then he will be leaving me, and I will be continuing on by myself. So for now, day 151, Recon out. All right, we have ascended pretty much the entire time since we left the shelter, and about 2.1 miles from the shelter, you can look into the valley here and see the clouds are actually below us at that point. And then up the trail here, we're going along this ridge line. There goes Pramod up the trail, and then here's the other side of the ridge. And way back over there is a house down in the clearing down in there. So we have about 1.7 miles to go to Jennings Creek campsite, or Jennings Creek, I guess it is, parking area where he has parked his vehicle. He'll get his car and then go on home, and I will continue on my lonely path southward. All right, I am crossing the creek here, and that's the parking area right there. And my friend Dr. Malik is back at his car. He's going to drive on back to Chesapeake, Virginia, and I am going to continue. I've got about 10 miles to go to get to the Boblets Gap shelter, where I plan to spend tonight. And then that would give me about 17 miles tomorrow to get into the hostel, Beach Hill Hostel near Daleville, Virginia, where I plan to resupply tomorrow. So anyway, it's kind of sad. I had a good time with him. It was nice having another human being out here with me to chat with, and he's a cool guy. So kind of sad to have him leave, but I got to keep moving. So moving south. All right, he's still crunching along in all these leaves. It was a pretty long, steep climb up out of the parking area where I left my friend. I'm on a flat level plateau, and then it climbs again, and then it levels off for the rest of the day. So I'm coming up on Cove Mountain Shelter. If it's not too far off the trail, I might just pop there for lunch. And I'd like to get my sleeping bag out and get it into the sun, maybe air it out a little bit. You know, the problem when it's cold, it's been getting into like 35 degrees at night. And then I get condensation on the outside of the sleeping bag from the moisture coming off my body that condenses on the cold outer shell. And then if I pack the sleeping bag away, of course, that moisture goes into the goose down. I lose insulation, so I don't want that. I might take a lunch break and put it in the sun, try to get some of that out of there. And then I'll continue on. The goal for today is Boblets Gap shelter. And then tomorrow, it'll give me 17 miles to get into Daleville. And I'm going to go to the hostel there and get a shower and do laundry and resupply. So, continuing on. All right, this is Cove Mountain Shelter, and it's not too far off the trail here. So I'm going to pop on down here. It's about 12:20. I'm going to go ahead and have an early lunch because I want to use the privy here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my sleeping bag out on this picnic table probably and let it dry a little bit. All right, I think I'm about 2.5 miles from the shelter, but I've come across an area, look at this, that was damaged by the hurricane, by Helene. And you can just see the blowdowns. Look at all these trees that were blown down onto the trail. And then you can see the trail maintenance people, God bless them, have been out here sawing these trees to open the trail up. But some of these trees are enormous. And you can see how many there are. And they were all laying across the trail at one point before the maintainers removed them. So that's really something. And it just goes on and on and on. You can see these are big trees. And I just have so much gratitude for the people that come out here and work on all this stuff. It's quite something. You see this big one here, it's got a big root ball there. It just came right up. Wow, I just came out onto Blue Ridge Parkway. The trail crosses, you can see the white blaze up there. And across the road, and look at this. I mean, this is just unbelievable. That is so beautiful. Little farms down there. Man, that is something. So I'm going to continue up here. I've got about 1.7 miles to go to get to Boblets Gap shelter, where I will be spending the night. And you can see, if you can see, the sun is already starting to go down a little bit. So I've got about an hour until sunset, maybe a little less. I got to hustle. Okay, just so y'all can see, this is Boblet's Gap Shelter, and this is my home for the night. Looks like I'm the only occupant. There's a really good spring running over there, and you know, it's kind of dark and dismal on the inside, but I think it'll keep the rain off if it rains. There is sort of a tent site over there, but it's not very good, and everything else is really badly angled. I don't really see a place to put a tent. In addition, tomorrow I am doing 17 miles to Daleville, and so I want to get up. I'm going to set my alarm for 5 a.m. and try to get an early start, and it'll help if I don't have to pack up a tent. So there's my ground sheet. I'm going to get my air mattress inflated, get my sleeping bag out, and then there is my stove and my food, and I'll start working on dinner. It's 5 p.m., not military time, but 5 p.m. It's like 5:20 right now p.m., and it is getting dark. It's kind of crazy. Good morning, and welcome to day 152. It is about 5:15 in the morning. Alarm went off at 5 a.m., and it's still pretty dark. And it's still pretty cold. I am packing up. There's my sleeping bag there. I'm rolling up my air mattress, and I'm going to try to get moving. I have 17.8 miles to go to the hostel today, which is near Daleville, Virginia, the Beach Hill Hostel. I want to get there, clean up, do laundry, resupply, and move on tomorrow. So I'm going to get my air mattress rolled up, pack my stuff, get some breakfast going, and then get on trail. Day 152 continues. I am on the trail from the shelter back up to the AT. 17.8 miles today, and it's gray and cloudy. Not super cold, probably 50. So it's not supposed to rain, but we'll see what the day brings. So off I go. I just heard a gunshot, and that reminded me that hunting season started the day before yesterday. So I got my orange hat already. I got that for free out of a hiker box in Duncannon, Pennsylvania. Pretty happy about that. It cost me nothing. And at the Walmart several weeks ago, I picked up this. It's just an orange vest, but it actually fits over my pack pretty nicely. So I stopped, took my pack off, put my orange vest on, because I don't think you can have too much orange right now. But anyway, I'm oranged up now and ready to roll. 7:30, looks like the sun is up over the mountains over there, and that valley is starting to wake up a little bit. What's interesting is that right down below me is the Blue Ridge Parkway. The trail, I guess, parallels that for a while. You don't even notice it until a car goes by. You don't see it from the trail. You can see the sun is creeping across the valley. You can see the shadow line right there as the sun comes up. This is to the west. I am not sure if this is still considered Shenandoah Valley or not. I think it is, actually. But I'm pretty far south. I'm almost to Daleville. But I still think it's considered Shenandoah Valley. It's really beautiful. You can see houses down there and all that. People going about their lives. So the trail is going down along the bottom here. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway above me. And I want to stop for a second and just show you this, so I don't want to make you sick. But look at the stonework here. I mean, this is amazing. All these pieces, these big blocks all fitted together like that. And then they support the road above. So this stuff was all built, as far as I know, during the 30s by the Civilian Conservation Corps. They put these armies of unemployed men to work, and you just had this beautiful craftsmanship all along this area. A lot of the shelters were built by them as well, particularly in Shenandoah National Park. So the trail is back on the Blue Ridge Parkway, just crossing over here. And look at these mountains. I mean, this is just gorgeous. I looked at the map, and I actually paralleled the Blue Ridge Parkway all the way to Daleville. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. The trail popped back out onto Blue Ridge Parkway. Another one of their pullouts here. This one has a trash can, and it might just be worth my trouble to get my trash bag out and dump my trash and lighten my load a little bit. So I might drop my pack off right here right quick and do this. And here's a view. Montvale, Goose Creek Valley. That is just so spectacular down there. I think in the far distance there, that's the Peaks of Otter. And I don't know what this is. I've never seen this before. I live in Virginia, and I had no idea this even existed. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, listen. Yes, I'm talking to you. It's hunting season. What are you doing? You shouldn't be just hanging out. Go find some place to spend your time until it's over with. Well, I sure hope that deer listens to what I was telling it. I just stopped into the shelter to use the privy and get some water, and a couple young fellows up there, local guys, hunters, armed to the teeth with enough weaponry to take on a small country. They said they had not seen any deer today, and I was like, well, I saw some. Anyway, they're out having a good time. I told them good luck, and hope they get their deer. All right, I've got less than a mile to go to get to the hostel, and it is 5:05 p.m. So the sun's already set, and it'll be dark shortly. So I'm hustling. I'm hoping I can get there before it's dark. I don't want to have to pull my headlamp. All right, I am at the hostel, Be Chill Hostel, in Daleville, Virginia. And so there's two bunk houses, I should say. And I have this one to myself. Some bunks in here. It's all my gear. And then Boom Boom, who is also a Marine, is in the next bunk room. So we had dinner together, went into town, and got a ride there. Went to the barbecue place with the Kroger and resupplied. And so I'm starting to pack up some of my stuff. I am putting my sleeping bag, my sleeping clothes, and my puffy inside my waterproof liner, because tomorrow it is supposed to rain all day, and it's also a chance of snow. So anyway, I'm gonna get all the stuff waterproof to make sure we're good to go. About 16 miles tomorrow to the Campbell Hill shelter, and then probably the next day about 10 miles to the Four Pines Hostel in Catawba, Virginia, and we'll resupply there and have about a 68-mile hike to Perrysburg. So more to follow tomorrow, but this ends today. Did 18 miles today, pretty happy with that, and I'm ready to go to bed. So Semper Fi and Recon out.